So let's imagine right now that we own a drone, like this one right here, and we're getting ready to fly it. What kind of licenses or permits do you need to have to fly a drone?
Well, all drones currently, according to FAA regulations, have to be registered, and the cutoff for registering a drone, if it was bought in 2015, is the end of January. So January 30th, I believe, is the actual cutoff date. After that, you have to have a registered number for you, and that applies to all of your drones. So you can have one number for 25 drones, and it only costs you $5. And the purpose of that is for cases like we saw last year where somebody crashed a drone on the lawn of the White House. Now they have the registration number linked to that drone, and they can figure out who that is. It's either flying too close to federal buildings or prisons or airports, stuff like that. So we can hold people accountable that are misusing this technology.
Before we take your questions, I want to answer more specifically the question we got most frequently at the 9 a.m. session, and that is, quote, do I need a pilot's license to petition for an exemption under Section 333 to fly a drone? And the answer is, by law, the FAA cannot authorize an aircraft operation in the national, meaning U.S. airspace, without a certificated pilot in command of the aircraft. Exemptions granted in accordance with Section 333 carry the following requirement regarding the pilot in command, which is called the PIC, of the aircraft. Under this grant of the 333 exemption, a pilot in command, that is the person flying the drone, must hold either an airline transport, commercial, private, recreational, or sport pilot certificate. The PIC must also hold a current FAA Airman medical certificate or a valid U.S. driver's license issued by a state, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, a territory, a possession, or the federal government. The PIC must also meet the flight review requirements specified in the particular regulation from the FAA in an aircraft in which the PIC is rated on his or her pilot certificate. For more details, visit the FAA website at faa.gov. Of these three, recreational, sport, and private pilot are the least time-consuming and the least expensive to get. It's important to note you don't have to be a commercial pilot, but you have to be a pilot. So before you start charging for your services, be sure your drone is registered. Be sure you have sufficient insurance, especially liability insurance. Be sure that you have the proper exemptions and permits, both local and national, before you start flying. And be sure your pilot is properly licensed. As we've seen in Los Angeles and other cities around the country, authorities are now citing and arresting drone operators for not following the rules, infringing on privacy, causing damage, interfering with emergency operations, or flying in restricted areas where drones don't belong. As owners and operators, following the rules is increasingly important, and providing an overview to owning and flying a drone is what today's webinar is all about. This has been an excerpt of a recent Power Up webinar taking a look at owning and flying a drone. For the complete version of this webinar, please visit my store at larryjordan.com/store and look for Webinar 189. If you need to stretch your training dollars, a subscription membership to our video training library saves you money. You can access all our videos for a low monthly price of only $19.99. That's more than 1,200 movies, hundreds of hours of training, all in depth and all up to date. Plus, members can attend any of our Power Up webinars for free. Our training covers Apple and Adobe software. We update it every week, and for more information, visit larryjordan.com/subscriptions. And thanks.